Some places aren't meant to be disturbed. Some stories should never be spoken aloud. But when a group of college friends ignored the warnings and taunted the dead, something came back with them, and one of them would never be the same again.
Have you ever felt unseen eyes watching you in the dark? Welcome to Nightfall Crypt, where shadows whisper, the unknown lingers, and every story is waiting for you to listen, if you dare.
The night was crisp, the moon a swollen yellow eye peering through skeletal tree branches. Laughter and the crunch of leaves underfoot filled the air as a group of college friends hiked down a narrow dirt path, their breath fogging in the cold. "Dude, this place is supposed to be insane," one of them whispered, barely containing his excitement. They were heading toward an old, nearly forgotten graveyard, burial site of children murdered by their own mother. The legend varied depending on who told it. Some said she drowned them, others claimed she burned them alive in their beds. Either way the story went, her vengeful spirit still lingered, watching over the tiny graves, punishing anyone who disturbed them. The group arrived, their flashlight beams cutting through the mist. A ring of weathered tombstones jutted from the earth like broken teeth, each one small, innocent, each one a child's. They waited, whispered the names they had read online. They performed the ritual suggested by paranormal forums. But nothing happened. Frustration and boredom set in. Fueled by alcohol and bravado, they began to mock the ghostly mother. "Where are you, lady? Not much of a vengeful spirit, huh? Guess you don't care about your kids that much after all." Their laughter echoed through the trees, harsh and hollow. A sudden wind swept through the graveyard, rustling the dry leaves. The temperature dropped noticeably. A faint rustling came from the tree line, a whisper just beneath the wind. The mood shifted. "All right, I'm done," one of the girls muttered. "I need to pee anyway. Let's go." They chuckled, shrugged, and turned back toward the car. The driver, the only sober one, reached for the handle of his unlocked car, but it was locked. He frowned, digging in his pocket for the keys. Maybe he had locked it without thinking. Shrugging it off, he unlocked the doors, and they piled in, the unease already melting away as they joked and recounted the night's antics. The drive back was uneventful. One by one, he dropped off his friends until he was the only one left in the car. That was when he first felt it. A heaviness in the air. A tingling at the base of his neck, like unseen eyes watching. The road stretched before him, empty and dark. His hands tightened on the wheel. Every shadow along the roadside seemed wrong, as if something crouched within them, waiting. Then, the whispering started. Soft, distant, children's voices. His pulse hammered in his throat. He checked the rearview mirror, nothing but darkness. The whispering grew louder. A giggle, a rustling sound, like tiny hands brushing against fabric. His breath hitched as the mirror flickered. For just a second, there was movement in the back seat. A small shape, a child. He slammed on the gas, tearing down the road, his hands white-knuckled on the wheel. By the time he reached his house, the whispering had stopped. The air in the car was thick, stale, wrong. His roommate was outside, scrolling through his phone. When he saw him pull in, he grinned, lifting his flashlight in greeting. Then he pointed the beam toward the car window. His smile faded. He stepped closer, brow furrowed. "Dude, what the hell?" His breath hitched, tiny handprints all over the inside of the windows. The driver froze. His heart pounded in his chest like a frantic fist against a coffin lid. Without a word, he got out of the car, walked past his roommate and went inside. He locked the door, didn't look out the windows, didn't go back outside until morning. The roommate, confused and curious, went back to the car. He pressed his fingers against one of the tiny prints. It smeared slightly, fresh, but they weren't on the outside of the glass. They were on the inside. The car was sold within the week. To this day, the driver refuses to speak of the rest of the drive home.
And so, the shadows stretch further, and the mystery only deepens. But this is far from the end. It's merely the beginning. What lingers beyond the door? Who is whispering your name? And what is that shifting in the corner of your eye? The answers await in the next chapter of these chilling tales. Subscribe to Nightfall Crypt and hit the notification bell, because the crypt's secrets are endless and the darkness never sleeps. Until next time, stay in the light if you can.